Your chair, Anthony Pritchard.
Thanks very much, Lori. My name's Anthony Pritchard. I'm your speaker director, and I get the pleasure of inviting all of the great speakers that we have living in this state to come talk to you all about your business. And if you're new here, we are on the campus of this New Thought University called Mile High Church, where a lot of practices transition very quickly over to the economics of our business. And a lot of New Thought leaders kind of started with these practices like Emerson and Napoleon Hill, even Tony Robbins or Jimmy Buffett. And so I try to go out and find those New Thought leaders that live here in Denver and invite them to speak to you all. So I just wanted to start with a few questions. Do you want to wow your clients with incredible value? Would you like to get paid more for what you do? Are you ready to make 2017 a blockbuster year? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you're in the right place. Our speaker today is a master of experiential learning and an expert at designing programs that lead to higher paying clients and more repeat business. With over 20 years of experience in training and instructional design, she's helped thousands of speakers, coaches, and authors to monetize their message into workshops, webinars, and virtual programs. She's a member of the NSA, National Speakers Association, since 2005. She has presented both nationally and internationally and is the author of Wake Up Your Life, Workouts for the Mind, Heart, and Soul, and co-author of Success as a State of Mind. When she's not speaking or coaching, she is skiing fast, biking leisurely, or dancing to live salsa music. Helping us take our business to the next level, a native of New England, please join me in welcoming from Boulder, Colorado, speaker, educator, and expert hula hooper, DiGiovanna.
Experiential learning is the new currency. And 93% of people prefer live events over traditional social media. And people retain about 30 to 40% of what they see and hear, but they actually retain over 90% of what they see, hear, and do. And you all can probably relate. When you are engaged into an experience, you remember more. It usually addresses some kind of emotional connection. And also, people pay for experiences. They're willing to pay more for experiences and for those memories. So the question is, how can you translate your content, your expertise, your programs into an experience for your customers, even when you're networking, even when you're running your one-on-one sales calls or your programs, so that they not only buy from you, but you're actually able to charge more. So let's actually engage in an experience right now. Each of you actually have bubbles in front of you, and I would love for you to open them up and blow some bubbles. And they really do work. Some of them might be a little bit difficult to open, but as you're blowing these bubbles, what could these bubbles represent as it relates to growing your business? And feel free to just throw out some answers. What could they represent as it relates to growing your business? Creativity. Great.
Non-attachment to outcome.
Non-attachment to outcome. Yes. What else? Fun.
Impermanence.
Impermanence. What else? Anything else? Over on this side? Ideas? Thoughts? Expansiveness. So here's the deal. When we'll just keep, you can blow them throughout the talk, that's okay. So here's the thing. pressure off of you, where you then become a facilitator of a process versus always having to be the director, right? So it's quite nice. But it requires a very important skill. And all of us actually have this skill and had it a ton when we were really young. So how many of you have kids? Okay, yeah, a lot of you. When your kids were 5 or 6 years old and they discovered this big wide world out there, what did they automatically become? Curious about everything, right? Right? And what's the tool that kids use when they start to become curious? Questions about everything. You know, and half of them we can't answer. we say because that's how it is, right? But questions are the most powerful tool to help you stay curious. So what happens as you grow older? What happens with your curiosity? Kind of dies. Yeah, it kind of dies. So I'm going to challenge you from today on to start activating that skill of curiosity, because that is the biggest skill that will help shift your attention over here to over there with your customers, your prospects, right? That's key. And the tool is asking questions, but not just any old questions, powerful questions. Now let me make a distinction. A powerful question typically starts with a what or a how. Now it's not to say that other types of questions aren't powerful. Those are just more powerful. So curiosity can be easy. It's just about making less statements and asking more questions. So can you imagine running your entire discovery call session or sales call with your prospective customer by only asking questions? It's completely possible. In fact, I've used this skill when I network all the time. And I kid you not, I will interact with someone by only asking questions. And inevitably, at the end of our conversation, this is what I typically get. Wow, it's been so great talking to you. You have such great energy. I'd love to connect with you. Now, they have no idea who I am. They have no idea what I do. But why do you think they feel that way? Yeah, because you've paid attention to them, because they felt heard and understood. That's what's possible. And when they feel that way, they want more of you. They want to learn more about what you do, and they also want to discover how you could help them. So I want to share with you 3 principles today that will help you engage your audience a whole lot more than you are today. And the first principle is this: your business is not about you. It's about your customers. And that skill of curiosity and the skill of powerful questions is what's going to have you incorporate this principle day in and day out. Because here's the deal: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Important quote originally by Theodore Roosevelt. So I want to leave you with some specific questions you can ask in those one-on-one sales calls with a potential customer that you can kickstart the conversation with. And by the way, I'll let you know how you can get these slides afterwards so you can get all the content. Okay? What keeps you up at night? What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now in your business? What do you most desire in the specific area that your niche is, right? And what would success look like? How can whatever you're delivering help them achieve that success? And what have they actually done today that's worked or not worked? Now, this is a challenge, but I rarely talk in my sales calls. I just ask questions. And here's the beauty. By asking all of these questions, I have a ton of information about that prospective customer where I can identify where they are today, where they want to go, and now I've got all this information to share with them. Here's how I can help you get there and bridge that gap. So there is extreme power in asking these kinds of questions. Principle number 2. It's not about your services and how you deliver them. It's actually about what your customers will do, be, or have as a result of experiencing your services. You see the distinction? See, so many of us, and I run into this myself because I'm a trainer at heart. I love developing curriculum. I help people develop their curriculum. And so when I'm selling my services, I often tell people, here's how it looks. And they don't really care. They want to know, what am I going to get as a result of you working with me? Right? And so the how is less important. So for many of you who are energy healers, who are healers where it's a little bit hard to describe what you do, focus on the benefits, the results of what someone gets as an experience of working with you. And I'm going to give you this one simple tool. It's simply one word. Imagine you have just delivered a talk to 50 of your prospective customers. And imagine at the end of that talk, you offered a group coaching program. And at the end of that program, at the end of that talk, you started looking out into the audience. And after you got the standing ovation, you started noticing they were filling out the registration forms for your coaching program. About half the audience. In fact, some of them are taking out their credit cards, they're writing out their checks, and they cannot wait to form a line at your table after your talk. So just imagine that. Now, how does that feel?
Great.
Great. What else? What other? Inspiring, right? Successful. So here's the beauty. Within about 30 seconds, I created a picture for you to step into by simply only using one word. This is a powerful tool in your marketing copy. So next time you're running a program, a talk, a workshop, a webinar, include in your marketing copy some statements around what's the result that someone would get out of working with me. And then simply take all those statements and put the word imagine in front of it. And now you're creating this picture they can step into, and they say, automatically they say, I want that. Now in those statements, did I ever talk about what I do or how I do it? No. Okay, so really powerful tool. I want to show you a video of how one company, IKEA in the UK, how they actually create an experience for their customers.
Tonight we're hosting the IKEA Big Sleepover here in IKEA Lakeside. We have 100 lucky competition winners who've got the chance to sleep over in the store this evening.
So first time here, we chose our bed linen and everything. We got a free goodie bag, which is amazing. Yeah. And custom cakes and hot chocolate, mulled wine.
We've got a sleep expert on hand to advise about the rituals and habits that people have before they go to bed. We're going to be showing film, we've got massages, manicures, and we've even got a celebrity who's going to be coming and doing bedtime story reading for us.
I read to everyone Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and everyone kind of laughed. It was quite light-hearted, like tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't deadly serious.
We did a piece of research with about 3,000 people. We found that 3/4 said that they took less than 10 minutes to choose their mattress. which is less time than some people take to choose their lunch. It's really important to take the time to choose the right mattress because you actually spend around about a third of your life on it.
I hadn't really realised how little time people spend looking at beds, which are clearly very important in obtaining good sleep.
It's more of an experience as well because you're obviously everyone's in one big room together sleeping like with strangers.
I had loads of fun. I had a little bit of a massage. I spoke to a sleep expert. So yeah, it's been good.
I've got my nails done. Job. Good. First time ever. Drunk lots of hot chocolate, eating too many biscuits.
I sleepwalk sometimes. I was kind of like,
For me, I've never had a problem with sleeping, so I wouldn't really know what the best thing is to tell someone, but I don't know, cozy up, have a cuddle, lights off.
Pretty powerful. Yeah. Can you see that in that event they held, that experience, they weren't selling beds or linen. They were actually selling a good night's sleep. So when you think about your business, instead of thinking about what you're selling, your services, your products, what's the promise that you're selling? The experience that you're selling. That's the difference. Now, here's the other thing I want to point out about this that can absolutely apply to your business. Did you notice? Before they even chose their beds, they got to choose linen. They got to choose their pillows. They got to choose their comforter covers. Notice they included all these other products that they sell as part of the experience. They gave them goodie bags, right? Now, the other thing they did that was brilliant, think about this for your own business. What kind of events could you create or experiences where you actually bring in other experts that complement what you do, right? They brought in massage therapists. They had people doing manicures. And they got a celebrity to tell stories. They had sleep experts. Can you see how this whole experience is creating, it's an educational experience. So the question is, how can you create that in your business based on what you do? Let me show you a few examples of what you could do immediately. Engage your content. Check out your website when you get back today to your office. And notice how much of it talks about me and my services, and how much of it talks about my customer, their pain, the results they would get from experiencing what I do. And use this technique of imagine. In your one-on-one sales call, a powerful question to use toward the end of your call, after you ask them, imagine this is happening for you. Imagine you've completed the 6-month program and you're able to achieve everything that you said you wanted. What would be possible? And you let them answer. Right? These are dialogues. This opens up the dialogue into a really powerful place. And for your signature talks or your preview webinars, engage your attendees by diving into one major slice. Because if you are doing a 2-hour workshop, it's better to cover 1 or 2 things deeply so that your attendees get a full experience than to cover 10 things at a high level. Which, by the way, they really won't do anything afterwards. But if you cover 1 or 2 deeply, guess what's going to happen at the end of that workshop? They're going to go, I want those other 3 things you mentioned. They are going to want more, okay? Principle 3. People remember more of what they do than what you say. I'm sorry to break the news. You all have amazing expertise, nothing against you and what you say, especially if you're speakers in the room, right? But the reality is, if you remember the statistic I talked about earlier, actually, people retain 10% of what they see. They retain 30 to, oh, sorry, I meant to. What percent do you think people retain by what they see? You guys are so on it. About what percent, and I I actually mentioned this in the beginning of the talk. Do you think they retain by what they see and hear? 30? Yeah, 30 to 40%. Here's what's important to know about this, is the last number. They actually retain 90% of what they see, hear, and do. So I challenge you to start looking at how you're delivering your services and figure out, how can I give people an experience of what I do, a taste of it, so that they can now, it's kind of like they're hooked. They want more, right? Because people are willing to pay for an experience. And I'm going to show you another company that did just that. Super powerful. Now that's brilliant. I call that brilliant. I mean, first of all, there was not even a brand on that poster. And who would think of attaching a beer tap to a poster? And this marketing, often it's called experiential marketing, attracted millions and millions of followers. So can you imagine just by that? So the question is, how can you create an experience in your business so people are literally waiting in line, right, for your products or services? So I want to share with you some examples of how you could do this. And I'll share first some examples that I've used in my own business. The first one is, so I hired my first coach in 1993. Coaching wasn't really on the board. People didn't even know what coaching was. But as soon as I hired her, because I was in a corporate job that I just knew there was something more for me. Is this it? What's my purpose? So I was referred to this woman who coached me, and as soon as I started working with her, I knew this was one of the things I wanted to do. So in 2000, I got trained and certified as a coach through the Coaches Training Institute. And back then, there were only about 600 coaches certified in the whole country. And you can imagine, back then, again, coaching was like, if you actually shared that you had a coach, it kind of meant you had a weakness. So there was a lot of education to be done. And many of my colleagues that I trained with, we had a hard time getting clients. Because you know how much you can talk about coaching? And it just doesn't work. So what we did is we created four of us total, an evening of coaching. It was about a 2.5-hour evening. Invited people, it was a free event. And what we did was, each of us had about 5 minutes to talk about what coaching is not. We kind of divided up and did a little mini talk. And then immediately after that, people could experience a mini coaching session from one of us. 15 minutes. In fact, we got trained by doing 15-minute coaching calls. The power of that evening showed up in the results because we got clients out of that evening. Because they not only learned what coaching is, they got to experience it, right? So we spent years doing that, and we did these sessions once a month. So as I share these, think about your own business. How could they be applied? One of the things that I also did about 2011, and again, this is a great example. If you are delivering the same kind of training over and over and over again, it's probably a good sign that it's time to package it up into a virtual program that you can sell and impact a whole lot more people globally. Turn it into a home study program, a virtual program. So that's what I did back in 2011. I used to do workshops on how to run workshops, how to run webinars. And this is my home study program, the Workshop and Webinar Success Program. Now, I sell that at the end of my talks. However, not everyone might be ready to dive in fully. So I also offer just the first 3 modules, like a jumpstart package. So So think about for your own services, how could you pull out a piece of it, sell it for less, and give people a taste? Hot seat coaching. How many of you are coaches in here? Or do coaching in your position? Yeah. What are some short sessions you could offer to give people a taste of what you do? So I do this in my own business. People come to me with their workshop and webinar content, and within about 20 minutes, I can give them specific interactive exercises to engage the audience so that they're getting the learning in their bones as opposed to them sharing it, right? And then the last one I actually haven't done yet. It's been on my list for about a year, but I think it would be really cool. And it's called a webinar makeover contest. So think about for your own business contests that you can do. It engages people, it creates community. And in this particular idea, I would have people create a 1 minute to 1.5 minute video that tells me why their webinar could use a makeover. And why it's so important to them. And then people submit them, I review them, and I choose one. They win a webinar makeover. Now, what do you think I can do with all of the other people that submitted? Follow-up. I could offer something to them, right? So think about this again in your own business. A couple of ideas for you. For those of you who are in the healing business, think about audiences that you might not normally market to. Like, for example, offering 10-minute massages to a corporation over lunchtime. Or doing some hot seat coaching for a particular audience. So you want to kind of make it special. It's not just this broad thing. It's like, these are for my Facebook followers. One specific market. Offer products or services for free, a piece of it. If you happen to be a carpet cleaner or an electrician, it's like, what's one project you could do as a mini project? Contests, challenges, journeys. You've seen them all over the place, right? 7-day challenge, 21-day challenge. What this does is it creates a lot of buzz for your business, your services, but also a following. Pilot a piece of your program. One of the best ways to test out your content is to pilot a piece of it with a small group in exchange for feedback or testimonials. Because they're going to be great proponents when you actually market this to the public. And then I mentioned this earlier, doing a deep dive in one of your areas in a workshop or a preview webinar. If you have a membership site, why not give away 1 month of membership? People can access your tools and then have an invitation to join on a monthly basis. And then lastly is, for those of you who offer free tools on your website or after your talks, they call it a lead magnet, not only make that lead magnet rich with content, but give them an exercise, a template, something that they can do. So next time you're networking, you're running a sales call, you're delivering a workshop or webinar or a virtual program, I want you to think about these questions. Where's the focus? Where's my attention? Is it over there with the customer or over here with me? Who's experiencing the most engagement? It should be the customer. Okay, just FYI. So figure out your message and build an experience around it, okay? Because your message plus that experience will generate more business for you and more revenue in the end. And I want to leave you with this one video. Here's how you can turn your message into a movement.
I've had a very difficult relationship with the scale my whole life.
You can't get on a scale and not think something about what number it says. That number is going to make you happy, that number is going to make you sad. You're going to feel something.
Certain things you can't measure by a scale.
When I was asked the question, what do you want to weigh on yourself? I never asked
asked that.
I want to weigh myself by my voice.
I care for over 200 homeless children. If I can bring a little bit of love, some light in their eyes.
I'm the sole provider of my family. There are 4 boys. I wanted them to see the strong woman in their life, provide for them. To have somebody weigh me in that aspect, that was a powerful thing. The moment I walked in and I saw those scales, it touched my heart.
I'm just proud to be a part of this wall.
That these are important enough to put on a wall in Grand Central Station. It makes me feel like I'm a part of a movement. This is the beginning of changing how people think. It's how you weigh you.
Powerful. Wow. Yeah. You have the ability to turn your message into a movement through experiences. So thank you very much.
Dean, thank you so much. It really gives us a lot of good information on how we can weigh the experiences that we're providing in our one-on-one appointments and on our website. What a great talk. Thanks so much for coming. I had no idea. I just need to sit and ask questions. So if you've got a card in front of you, take a look at it, pick it up, see who's coming next. Oh, look, it's Sylvia Thiessen. She's sitting in the middle of the room. She'll be coming next. Straight talk to boost your bottom line. Is your communication attracting or repelling business? Join us for a lively and interactive program and learn the #1 communication tool you need to master in order to grow your business. Learn how to say no without the guilt and excuses and take control of your time and energy. So this is a great resource for you to bring home with you, carry around in your car, bring to your other business meetings, invite your business partners and your business contacts to join us here. We've always got a great community and plenty of great networking with all the number of people we've got here. There's always somebody for someone. Someone for everyone. So next, what we have is your marketing director, JC Soto, who will give you the opportunity to spotlight your business at one of the spotlight tables around the room. We'll start in the back and bring it back here.
Thank you. Good morning, BHS. Good morning. Imagine that you receive our newsletter